Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of the Hornbill Podcast, featuring Hornbill, starring Hornbill, and their guest. And today I have the absolute honor of speaking to Jared from the fellow Salt Lake City band Choice Coin. What's up, dude?
Yo, what's up?
Not a lot. This is the first time I think I've actually met somebody in the Salt Lake music scene.
Yeah.
So, hello, first of all. It's awesome to meet you. It's good to put a face to your music, and
thank you.
It's just cool. I like it. I've only been in Salt Lake a few years, so
Okay.
COVID took up half of that, and
I feel you.
I haven't really gotten the chance to meet music people. So, hey.
Yeah. Well, glad you're here.
Dude, I'm pumped. So you play in the band Choice Coin.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little about that.
So Choice Coin started as my solo stuff, but it evolved over the course of a couple years. I was playing bass in another emo band. Before that, I was doing my Choice Coin stuff just solo on the side. And then when that band stopped playing together, it was like, okay, time to really focus in. It's going to be my songwriting now. And then I had a couple friends fill out the band. That was great until, about March 2020. And, everything changed for everybody last year. So my drummer ended up moving to Texas to do
I saw
piercing. My bassist just took a step back from music in general, which, you got to respect.
Yeah.
It's like when things are so crazy. But as things are getting a little less crazy, I hope if we all get vaccinated, then got a new band, new lineup, ready to go. Coming out first show in September. But yeah, the songwriting's been mine for like couple years, 3 years I've been doing Choice Coin.
Okay, sick. You just mentioned your first show is in September. Is there not one on August 13th that I saw?
So that's a solo show, and it's just like so our whole brilliant band plan in 2020 in January was, cool, we've got a lot of shows lined up for 2020. Let's take February off and record an EP, and then we'll hit it back hard starting in like end of March. We had our first show like scheduled after recording, and then so I was playing a one-off solo show at the beginning of March in 2020, and that was the last show I played because everyone knows. And so I'm just kind of wrapping it up with like just doing another solo show in the same spot with my same friend Peter Chubak as kind of my introductory show back, get my feet wet a little bit.
Okay.
Kind of get back in.
Is he a local Salt Lake guy too?
Yeah, he's been around forever.
Okay. Cool, yeah. I do plan on coming out. I would like to meet both of you. I was hoping to meet the whole band. I'm not sure if they'll be there, but regardless, I'll get to meet some people.
Hopefully.
And
we'll see who can make it. But yeah, that'll be a fun one. Peter's great. He's been around forever. He's more of like a folk punk guy.
Hell yeah. So the band itself, when I listen to it, I'm hoping you'll get these references. I feel like it's a really good combination of This Town Needs Guns and Pedro the Lion.
Oh my God, David Bazin is a huge influence of mine.
I can hear it.
So like Pedro the Lion, I love. I've never done deep dives on This Town Needs Guns, but they've always been, for the last 8 years or so, they've been in the zeitgeist of what people around me are talking about. I hear it in the car, I hear it here and there. I've never done a deep dive on them, though.
They're definitely more towards the mathy side, the math rock side of things, and I mean, they're all phenomenal musicians who do sometimes too much. But that's where it meshes perfectly with David Bazan and just that Pedro the Lion feel, and it kind of slows that whole thing down and kind of, I don't know, it puts more feeling into it.
Cool.
That's what I hear when I hear Choice Coin. So I love that combination, and I don't know, I think that's cool. So if anybody out there has not heard of Choice Coin and you like those two bands, go listen now, because you'll dig it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Love it.
I'm glad, dude. I mean, I don't really remember when we kind of found each other on Twitter.
Yeah, sometime in the last 6 months or so, you know, like... It could have been like a month ago. It could have been like in January. I don't know. We started talking about just being local and playing and stuff like that. Yeah.
And are hopefully... So the DIY Super Bowl, which happened out in Philly, a month ago?
Yeah.
We were trying to rival that with a handful of Mountain West bands and do the DIY Stanley Cup.
Everything's just so fucking far apart out here.
It really is. It's tough.
Because that's the hard thing.
Yeah. Living out east, and you're like... So I used to live in Baltimore. I used to live above Philly for a bit, and like, okay, it's 2 hours to Philly, and then it's another hour to freaking Newark, and then another hour to New York. And like, the closest thing out here is Vegas, and it's 6 hours away.
Yeah, so you could go to Denver, which is like 6 hours
8 hours,
away.
Yeah.
8 hours away. Like, you've got Vegas. You could drive, like 12 hours to Phoenix. Like,
I will say, the first time or two, maybe even 3, that you do the drive from Salt Lake to Denver, like, it's captivating, especially as someone who's...
Oh my god, if you're taking I-70, yeah. Holy shit.
70 is incredible in itself because you wind through all the canyons and everything, and you go up through Eisenhower Pass, and that's just super fucking cool, especially when the biggest mountains are like hills compared to what's out here.
Right. Yeah.
And then if you go up 80, the nothingness that is Wyoming is so...
Yeah.
Oh, it's overwhelming. It's, how is there this much of nothing? And I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fucking cool. But it does get old very quickly.
Yeah, I feel that. Like, if the weather's not bad, I'd take 70 every time, even with the hills and the gas mileage suck on some of those hills.
But yeah, ultimately trying to do the DIY Stanley Cup and having bands from Idaho come down here, having bands from Colorado come out here, and from Vegas come up, and I don't know. I don't know where we're at with it, but
I don't know.
It's a very cool idea, and I'd like to do it.
Yeah, I would love to. Anything I can do to help make that happen, I'd love to. But man, yeah, when everything's so far apart out here, it's so hard to do something without like some actual backing.
Yeah, no, I feel it. I was talking to, I posted on a bunch of like Facebook groups and stuff up in Rexburg and Boise, trying to get maybe venues up there and potentially do some like small little tours. For whether it be Hornbill or Derek Christensen, or even have you guys on there with us. Like, I think that would be fucking so fun.
Oh yeah.
So are you good friends with the Illicit Nature guys?
I've never met them. I talked on, just the Twitterverse, really. Like,
same.
That's about the extent of it. They seem like rad guys.
Yeah, definitely. Those guys, I definitely want to go see them soon. They're, between just locally. There's not a whole bunch, I feel, but I also don't know, so I'm trying to just trying to get out there and see as much new music friends as I can. But
yeah, I feel that.
And
so I'm the same way. Like, I know a few bands that are still going, but like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I knew of a band or two before COVID, and those bands aren't a thing seemingly right now.
Right.
So, I don't know. Oh well. But, so Choice Coin, the EP that you referred to earlier, that is Too Tired to Eat, Too Hungry to Sleep, correct?
Yeah.
So this is 4 songs, right? And it's
right.
It's a cool little up and down. It's a tiny little EP, but it's fucking sick. Talk to me about it.
Thank you. I mean, it was super stripped down recording. Nate, our old
sounds
drummer,
good.
We recorded it in his basement. Like, believe it or not, the guitars are all done on a Line 6 amp. Like, a Line 6 amp that I got for my birthday when I was like 14.
Hell yeah.
Like, I'm 31 now. I recorded that when I was 29. Like, it's been around forever, and it died actually like immediately after recording that. That was like the last thing it did, and it just gave up. Which, you know, I had it for like 16 years, so like props to it. It had a bunch of wacky sounds that I never used after I turned like 17.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like I replaced the speakers on it a couple of times, ended up with something sound I liked, and it's like, cool, I can dial in like 2 tones that are just killer with this thing. And so I used that, and then, it was like completely DIY in Nate's basement. I mixed and mastered it myself. It's just the nature. I grew up in a small town in southern Utah, so like there was nobody else doing it for the kind of stuff I was doing as a kid. So
what town?
My parents,
out of curiosity.
I grew up in Hurricane.
Okay.
It's like outside of St. George.
Yeah, so right off 15.
It's like pretty decent size now, but like growing up, it's ballooned by like 300% since I was like 18.
So how close is that to Cedar City?
40 minutes.
Because Cedar City's the place that has the lighthouse, right?
Yeah.
So
I lived in Cedar City for a minute too.
Okay, so you have to enlighten me a little bit on this. So, is the rumor right that there's some crazy whack job guy who, with a lot of money, thought that the rapture was coming, and he built this lighthouse so when everything flooded, there would be a way to like steer ships around?
I mean, that doesn't. I haven't personally heard that, but I would not be surprised. And there's like a couple of pretty prominent doomsayers from the Cedar City, Parowan area.
Okay.
That are like, there was this guy called the Parowan Prophet who like, it was like this big doomsayer. Like, so like, there's a few out there. It wouldn't surprise me, but I haven't personally heard that coming from down there. Maybe, but so like, as far as I knew, it was just like there because that little shopping area where that lighthouse is like the Providence shopping area, and it's like a Providence, like Providence main lighthouse sort of thing, or Rhode Island sort of thing.
Yeah, I remember the first time we went down to Vegas and I passed that, and I was like, is that a fucking lighthouse? And like we ended up stopping there, and it's a real life-size lighthouse, and it has light in it, and I don't remember where the hell I heard that, but that was the story I heard, was some fucking crazy guy.
Honestly, like, nothing surprises me down there.
Yeah. So sorry. Go ahead. Hurricane.
So Hurricane, as the locals call it. It's it was a small desert town growing up, so like there was like one professional recording studio that was also like a local access TV channel.
Okay.
That like this one hippie ran the recording studio side of, and he was nice, but like, you know, you still had to have money, and as a punk ass teenager, like I didn't have any money for that, so my parents being like computer nerds and stuff, when I started expressing interest in like recording stuff, they're like, hey, let's get you some microphones, get you a sound card, and just kind of like set me up with some really basic stuff when I was a teenager, and said, okay, cool, have fun, do what you can. And then it's just been one of those things that I never put down. I never also like put too much weight into it. It's always just kind of been like, yeah, I can mix and master my own stuff. I don't really seek out to do other people's, though.
Okay. Gotcha. So that EP was recorded by yourself with all that knowledge, essentially.
Right.
Hey, it sounds good for what it is, especially being in a basement.
That's good.
That's sick.
Yeah, that's just an empty basement.
So, and then the newest single, you're going to have to correct me on pronunciation here, but Timison?
That's exactly right.
Okay, Timison Part 2, Resolution. It's a seemingly a more dialed-in version of that sound from the EP. It's an awesome song. When did that come out?
That came out, was it April, I want to say?
Okay.
That was, so before my old drummer left in October of last year, we were able to squeeze in like one drum record. So we got guitar scratches for a couple of songs, like 3 or 4 songs, and then just threw it to Nate with our friend Kale, who's running the Beehive venue right now.
Okay.
Kale did the tracking for us, and Kale then sent me the mixes, or just the stems of the drums.
Give me one sec.
Yeah.
I lost you for a sec. Are you there?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool. I got you
way
again.
Louder. Cool.
My, I don't know what's going on with my thing, but it shits out every now and then, so sorry.
I feel ya.
You were saying your buddy who runs the Beehive.
Yeah, so Kale, they run the Beehive. They tracked the drums for Nate after helping me do a couple of guitar scratches. We got about 2 songs worth of like really dialed in perfect material. So I think we had 2 takes on every song. So it was just like, okay, what we got's what we got. Nate's gone. We're not going back in for these. So got Timothy, and then while I guess I should state that like I upgraded a bunch of gear after my old amp died. So the new singles have my Fender Hot Rod DeVille on it.
Cool.
Like 60-watt tube. And like a couple of pedals, nothing too crazy. And then it's just more dialed in because I had a little bit better gear and a little bit better sound isolation, and then I just took to it again, and this time, since we weren't trying to cram the whole record into a couple of weeks in February before getting back to the shows that never happened. I could just take my time. It's like, cool, I've got these drum tracks. Take my time. So I wrote and recorded the bass parts, and then recorded 2 guitar parts. So you're hearing the first EP is 1 guitar, 1 bass, 1 drum track. And like vocal and harmony track, and that's it. Like there's no doubling anywhere. Like
that sounds really good for being single tracked everywhere.
Yeah, and then the new one's a little bit more intense with the mixing. Got
definitely sounds like better.
Right, like using like some parallel compressor and doing some like vocal effects. Whereas like the first EP is very dry intentionally, just get it recorded and out there. It's basically demos.
Yeah.
Because that's what we had time for. It's like, cool, let's just get it recorded and out there so we have something on Spotify. Because we had like 12 shows booked from March to
You got to have
August.
something to send people to when they listen to you live. So I get it.
And so then when everything was up in the air, it was like, well, I mean, I guess we should probably get to recording. And then Nate was like, oh, by the way, I'm leaving in a month. It's like, okay, let's get to it. Which was all good. Like Nate needed to go do his apprenticeship on piercing, follow his dreams. It was like a month was plenty of time to get in what we needed.
Solid.
But yeah, then this new band. I mean, like the live versions of the 2 singles, the one that's out and the one that's going to come out in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
The live versions now with the new band sound again nothing like what the singles sound like. Because like I wrote. It's basically like another just like basically myself plus a drummer.
Yeah.
So it's only got my brain in there, and the new stuff is like our lead guitar player now, Faye, she's just like crazy prog rock, like math wizard, who's doing like polyrhythms over all my already odd time signatures. So
Love
like
it.
the new stuff is just like fucking wild.
So this new single, This Bedroom Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us, that's going to come out August, shit, I had it down somewhere, August something.
27th.
27th, and that was part of that last recording session you guys had with your old drummer?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely look out for that. And yeah, isn't it freaking cool when you round out a band and the ideas that you have in your head suddenly balloon into these like amazing things because of everybody else's mind? Like, that shit is so cool to me. So we kind of did that with Derek Christensen. So he wrote all that stuff himself, and then when we started playing, Ryan and I in his band, we brought all these things to the table to round out the sound and just add more depth to it and make it a little, put our own touches on it. And then I just have done that in the past, and what you're describing, I echo that sentiment so much. Like, music is so much better when it's shared with good people who just bring that talent to it, and I don't know, it just makes it so fucking cool. Yeah. So who's in the band now? It's you. You mentioned Faye.
Faye, and then Tut is the bass player. They're also in another local band, Savage Daughters, who are wicked. And then Cole is the drummer. And I met him through Tut before Tut joined the band. The kind of like musicians know each other, and Tut knew I was looking for a drummer and sent Cole my way, and it worked out. And then after a couple of months, Tut was in the band, we share a practice space. Tut was in here for like 3 practices and was like, why don't I just play? Is that cool? It's like, yeah, that's cool. Let's do it.
Yeah. So they're in a band called Savage Daughters, correct?
Yeah.
What kind of music is that?
Oh, like psychedelic sludge. Like. Okay. Like they're like real like doomy, shoegazy, but like definitely like psychedelic influences, lots of like wild soundscapes.
Ryan showed me a band recently. I think is it Deaf Heaven? Is that similar to what they sound like?
Kinda, yeah, like big reverb, big distortion, but Savage Daughters, they're like big on dynamic changes. They'll get so quiet, just like down there and like brooding, intense quiet, and just like explode with a wild fucking energy.
I love that. That's cool. We used to play with a band. Who was it? Comrades out east, and they were a 3-piece band, and they were all instrumental, and some of the most amazing soundscapes I've ever heard from 3 people, let alone any band. And just so dynamic. The highs were so high and the lows were so low. Like, it's something that not a lot of people can do, and I respect the hell out of that. That's cool. I'm gonna have to check them out.
Yeah. Oh, definitely check them.
Are they playing anything soon? Do you know?
What is it? Now I should know. It's August something. They're playing at the DLC, which is in the Quarters Bar downtown.
Okay.
So it's an arcade bar that has a backroom venue.
No shit.
They just started the backroom venue up when shows started happening again in the last couple of months. Quarters has been around for a few years, several years, but they just started doing shows.
So I'm good friends with the guys over at Lonely Hearts Tattoo on 400 there. So I was around that area when they were building Quarters Up, and I was like, oh, this is a cool idea and everything, and went and checked it out when they first opened, but I had no clue that they're doing a little venue in there. That's sick.
Yeah, the DLC is what they're calling the venue.
The DLC. Okay. Hell yeah. That's cool.
But they're playing with Sindar, which is another local kind of progressive, black metal inspired, kind of like Lord of the Rings metal.
Okay.
No, they're awesome.
When you say Lord of the Rings metal, is it like Viking metal, like that epic?
No, like Lord of the Rings. Like they have a song on their album called Rise of the Uruk-hai. Like it's like straight up like Lord of the Rings inspired, like fantasy metal. It's really cool, like awesome. Like when you think of what do I want to say? Like European, like fantasy prog is kind of the vibe they've got.
Okay. I can honestly say I've never heard that phrase before, European fantasy prog, but like I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And then they're really great. They've got like one like novel of an album that's out. It's like an hour and 16 minutes or something.
Holy shit! Okay.
Just a book. And then so it's Sindar, Savage Daughters, and Pillars, who are another local mathy kind of mathy hardcore band.
Cool. Yeah, I have to get in with this freaking mathy crowd because we're trying to round out Hornbill, and I don't know anybody who I don't know anybody who knows us or even wants to listen to us, let alone play what Hornbill is. So I got to find these people and pick their brains a bit. Okay, so outside of this new single coming out in August, what is Choice Coin up to? A show September 2nd. Any other new music? Any new recordings with this new full lineup?
Not yet. It's definitely bubbling right now. We're finishing up the live set.
Cool.
We're like nailing out the final little kinks of the live set. Got like 3 or 4 more songs that we're nailing down after that. They're a little further out. But I definitely want to get something recorded and released for next year, but I really don't think anything as far as full band's going to come out for the rest of this year.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. I know Cole does recording and mixing for other people from his practice space. So we'll kind of have 2 people that know production in the band at this point. Maybe we can spearhead it a little faster. And
cool.
But
I was gonna say if you ever need it, I have this whole freaking thing behind me. So I'm sure I'm right up the road from you. So
yeah. I mean, like right now I'm just at Downtown Music in our practice space.
Sick. Cool. All right, well, let's jump into advice and questions. I have a couple for us. If you were a breakfast cereal, which one would you be?
Oh, shit. I have celiac disease, so I can't have meat. So, like...
That's a shitty question.
But, no, I'd probably say Reese's Puffs, because, like, Reese's Puffs is one of those that, like, wheat... No gluten-containing ingredients are in the list, but it still says may contain. But I eat it anyway because, fuck, I gotta have my Reese's Puffs. Okay.
Hell yeah. I don't know if I actually ever had Reese's Puffs. That's probably something I should do.
Oh my god. So, I don't know if they're still around, but at some point last year they released a giant puff version of Reese's Puffs, and these things were like fucking jawbreaker size, like
big to the point where it didn't need to be big.
No, like it was literally like 1 puff per spoon. You're sitting there crunching it. It was fucking ridiculous.
Capitalism, love it.
I love how wild cereal gets.
I guess if I was a cereal, I gotta go CTC, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Classic.
Yeah, it's just so good. Were you ever big on Apple Jacks? I liked Apple Jacks as a kid.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, so I have celiac disease, but I didn't find out until I was like 22.
Okay.
So like my whole childhood was full cereal all the time.
I like how Apple Jacks are the furthest thing from Apple. Like, it's not even close.
There's no apple flavor.
No.
There's like some cinnamon flavor to it.
Yeah, it's like like when fall comes around and you got like that fall spice, like
apple spice.
Yeah.
It's like all apple spice flavored, but if you don't have apples, the apple spice is just spice.
It's literally just spice. Yeah, Lucky Charms is good too, especially the ones that are like loaded with marshmallows. It's not even good for, like, no cereal is good. Any good cereal is cereal that's not good for you.
I at one point bought in a jar, like one of those, like, you know, the cheese puffs jars, the big plastic jars. So it was that size, but it was full of cereal marshmallows, of like little dehydrated, nondescript shaped, generic cereal marshmallows.
Yeah.
That I would just throw in every fucking cereal.
That's really not a bad idea.
Like, I was like 26, so I was like, I'm gonna try a whole bowl of marshmallows. It's the dream, and it sucks. It's fucking terrible.
I can imagine it gets shitty. You gotta. What makes them so good is because they're so few and far between. So. Right.
Yeah. When you have a whole jug of them, they really. The supply and demand taints the economy of the cereal marshmallows.
Yes, thank you for that question. Cereal still bangs even when you're an adult. But next question. This is an interesting one, and I'll just ask it: are eggs meat?
Are eggs meat? No, but they are protein.
So
they're not vegan. Like
eggs are. Yeah, eggs are what stopped me from being vegan. I am vegetarian, and I'd never thought about that before. Are eggs meat? Like, I get that it's essentially a fetus, I guess, right? At some point,
well, because nobody's eating fertilized eggs.
That's true too. You're right.
We're all eating unfertilized eggs. Fertilized eggs don't get eaten. Once there's an embryo growing in there, it's not a good egg.
Okay. All right. Ignorance is bliss, I guess. I've just been eating eggs.
I would say they're potentially they're the building block to me.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, I've just always eggs are just kind of like chicken butt juice. I don't know.
Delicious chicken butt juice.
The chicken poops out a little egg and you eat it, and I don't think it's meat, but all right.
Yeah.
Good to know. Thank you for that one. Next one, this is an interesting one, and this is probably a good one for both of us to answer. I'm hosting my first dinner party and trying to impress my coworkers. What should my menu be?
I guess the first question is, have you addressed any allergens or dietary restrictions?
Yup. That would 100% be the first thing to ask. And if it's too late to ask, I would make sure that you have a variety of everything for everybody so everybody can eat regardless of what their restrictions are.
I mean, definitely have some, even if your main dish is a meat, make sure that your side dishes are vegan.
Yeah.
Because you can build a pretty decent plate without meat if you have some good side dishes.
100%. Yeah, personally... Go for it.
Just don't put dairy and meat in it when you don't have to.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, I personally, if I'm going to a dinner party, I'm really only concerned about dessert. So, if you got coffee cake or like homemade ice cream,
oh yeah,
I'm about it. But again,
brownies,
if you're making homemade ice cream, probably make sure that everybody's able to eat it, whether they're lactose intolerant or vegan, vegetarian. So, yeah, and coffee cake, I don't know, just... So, for celiacs, is it strictly wheat or is it just gluten?
So it's gluten, which is wheat, barley, and rye.
Okay.
So anything with a malt of those I can't have,
okay.
Or where it's in the... So like malt vinegars I generally can't have because those are all barley malts.
Gotcha.
But it's a lot easier than you think with gluten. Like, it's a lot easier than dairy, I'll tell you what.
Dairy's in everything.
Yeah, like, I was dairy-free for, like, 5 years before I went gluten-free because, like, dairy made me feel terrible. And it turns out it's because gluten was destroying my intestines, and I was pouring dairy in my open wounds. But apparently, once they healed, I was fine.
Okay.
So, like, for celiac disease, just watch, like maybe do, like, some simple side dishes. If you have a meat, don't mix it with the sauce. Like, make sure that you're marinating in gluten-free stuff because, like, pretty much any spice, if it's not, like, a pre-made spice blend, it's going to be gluten-free. Like, I live off of meat and rice and eggs, like, mostly.
Same, honestly, without the meat.
But, I mean, like, I think for dinner parties, like, just, like, go simple. Like, simple, classic, easy dishes. Unless you're, like, a really, really, really great cook and really, really great with your time management, go simple.
Yeah, but I would say probably the easiest route is to find out what everybody's thing is and base it off that accordingly.
Also, like, maybe make a signature cocktail.
That's not a bad idea either.
That can definitely distract from a mediocre dinner.
Very true. And then, so thank you for that one. Last one I have, this just says, LOL, I need all the relationship advice. I can't figure that shit out at all. So, this is a can of worms, obviously, but I'll just say respect, communication, and fun. That's like the pillars of a relationship.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't respect each other, the other two aren't going to matter. If you don't communicate, the other two aren't going to matter. And if you don't have fun, what's the fucking point of a relationship? So, yeah, you want to touch on that?
I mean, like, check your ego, I think, is the biggest thing with relationships.
That's a good one.
A lot of the time, fights happen because somebody else, like say I have a terrible day, if I bring it home because my day is the most important day, then it's going to affect everything I do at home as well. Like, just, like, check your, like, self-center and be like, how can, like, does it really matter, or am I just, like, upset and I don't want to lose? Like, I
100%.
I had to go, like, I had to learn that in my 20s. Like, it's okay to lose because you're not losing. You're just, like, just learn.
So one of my biggest things is if you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. And sometimes you gotta lose, and sometimes you just have to. Losing makes you uncomfortable, and it makes you grow. Yeah, to your point, check that fucking ego, because it's not all about you. It's a very, I mean, it's a relationship. It's not a one-sided thing, and if it is, it's not a relationship. So, yeah.
Or, like, also, I guess, as far as, like, early relationship stuff goes, because like if you can't figure anything out, you're probably not already in one. Like
yeah, that's true too.
Like, so if it's like early stuff, like, I mean, like, don't be afraid to get out there. Like, if the apps are what you make of them, like the dating apps, like,
you still have to be you, and you still have to be yourself and do you. You can't. Yeah, the apps just help facilitate meeting.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're still a shitty person, it's not gonna work out well for you.
I mean, like, it gives you the opportunity to meet people you would otherwise never meet. Yeah. Which is cool. Like, so, like, I met my partner of 3.5, like, going on 4 years now, on Tinder, which was, like, we met once on Tinder, and then it was just like, okay, well, I mean, I want to go on another date with you. So then we went on another date, and it's like, well, I don't want to go on a date with anyone else. And then a year later, we move in together. It's like, and there's no way we would have ever met without it. Like, we have no 6 degrees of connections, like, completely different worlds, but it works. Like,
and did they grow up in Salt Lake as well?
So they grew up in Salt Lake. I didn't. I moved here in 2017.
Oh, so you only had okay.
Yeah, I'm like 5.5 years.
Yeah.
But I'm a Utah lifer. I spent like a year in Arizona. But like, yeah, down in Hurricane, Cedar City, Logan. I spent like 4 years living in Logan.
Okay.
Just like working in restaurants and shitting around. And then when I got tired of that, I moved to Salt Lake. So it's like, maybe I should do music again.
Hell yeah.
Better than Logan, so I moved down to Salt Lake.
It is better than Logan. I have only been up there, I think, twice, and it is it's a cool town, but it is very vanilla. It's just kind of beige.
Beautiful in the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, there's not much going on. If you're not of the dominant culture, you're going to get looked at funny. Yep. But like Bear Lake is like 40 minutes away to the North Beach on the Idaho side, where you can drink all day at like the most beautiful mountain lake.
Bear Lake is sick.
Yeah, like that.
I remember the first time we drove up there, and you drive up the canyon, and then you come to the crest, and then you just look over at the lake, like in between the mountains and everything, and it's the most captivating thing. Like,
it's turquoise.
It's amazing.
Yeah. It's got a similar mineral content to the Bahamas, which is why their water color is like turquoise.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. How does that end up in the Utah mountains? Do we know?
It's just minerals. It's just in certain concentrations. Weird. Like, just works, I guess. Like,
dude, nature is so sick. I saw I read a thread on Twitter on how the Appalachian Mountains date back to it's the earliest mountain range on Earth, and like the Appalachian Mountains are the British Isles, because when we were Pangaea, like those were connected, and they're so old that like fossils in there are just like trilobites and stuff like that. Yeah. Like it's just fucking crazy that how old the Earth is, and humans have only been around for a little bit, and we think we run shit, and it's just silly to me. But
I know.
I don't know.
I know.
But yeah, relationship advice. Don't be a dick. Be open-minded. I don't know.
Have fun.
Have fun.
If you're not like living together, don't be afraid to break up. If it's miserable, don't be miserable if neither of you are willing to change it.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Like, if you have a life together, of course, don't just break up. Like, you gotta figure your shit out.
Yeah.
But like, if you're not living together, if you're just dating and you're not having fun, that's probably the sign.
Yeah. what is it? Rose-colored glasses don't see red flags. So
right.
Just do the best you can. It's very vague, and every relationship on Earth is going to be different than everybody else's relationship. But yeah,
be
do your
nice.
best. Be nice. Be nice. Be open-minded. Don't be a dick.
Yeah, that's most of it. As far as I can tell, it's working for me so far.
Yeah, agreed. All right, cool. Well, thank you for that one. That's our questions and advice. Let's move on to segments. So, Jared, this fucking rules. What has ruled for you this last week? What's killing it?
Oh my god. Have you heard the World's Worst EP2? They're a local band.
No.
World's Worst is the band.
World's
EP2
Worst.
just came out a couple weeks ago, and I cannot fucking get enough.
Okay. I'm gonna write this down just so I know.
Yeah.
World's Worst EP2. Okay. And they're Salt Lake?
Yeah.
No shit. Okay. Hell yeah. What kind of music are they?
Like alt rock, like high energy alt rock, I guess. Like kind of in that emo vein, but not exactly emo.
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's. I mean, you know how nebulous emo is. Like
it's subjective.
Yeah. So like, but they've got like high octane guitars, fast riffs, and like kind of that like kind of a garage rock vocal style.
Okay. That sounds up my alley.
They remind me of like Puff or Dogleg.
Okay.
It's kind of like ripping fast and like good riffs.
It's like energy rock. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, sick. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. My this fucking rules this week is wind turbines and like wind farms. So we played a show, just referencing the driving through 80 in Wyoming, and we played a show up in Green River, and you pass that one wind farm, and like wind turbines are, I mean, it's a man-made thing, but they're so majestic to me. There's something,
yeah.
I don't know if it's just like the monolith factor, or they're stoic, and they're, I don't know. They're just their presence is just like an undeniable thing, and it's just weird to me. But they're I don't know. They're beautiful. I love it.
Oh, I feel ya. They're so fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, driving through that specific area, there's like 20, 30 of them, and they're just hanging out and just I don't know, eating wind up.
I mean, it's always windy.
It really is. And they're all over the Mountain West, but those things are, I don't know, they're phenomenal. I love them. Yeah, if you don't know what a wind turbine is, it's a big, giant pole. Think of a giant windmill. It's like one main pole, and with a turbine on top that the wind flows through, and it generates power, and it powers like farms and stuff like that, and sometimes they store it and sell it to whoever needs power and shit like that. But yeah, very cool. This fucking sucks. What sucks?
The Utah housing market.
Yes. Yeah, the Utah housing market is fucking crazy. I'm assuming you've been looking recently.
So we're only paying attention because we've had friends looking, but okay, a little bit of a story time.
Please, go ahead.
My apartment burned down last year, right after COVID started.
What?
Yeah, so our apartment burned down. We were in the basement, so it wasn't a total burnout, but like we lost a lot of our stuff.
Dude,
and
I'm
we
so
lived in
sorry.
an Airbnb
That's
for
shitty.
like 6 months.
Wow.
But we my partner's parents put up like a GoFundMe for us. We like blasted it out there. Like this was like April. So last year it was like COVID hit, and then we had that like
the earthquake.
And then 1 month later my apartment burned down.
Oh my God.
And then, so we lived in an Airbnb for like 6 months, and my partner has a family member in real estate and was like, hey, you got all this GoFundMe money. I think that's enough to get you guys into a house, but you got to act now. And so he got us into a house. Like we were like on contract for like 3 or 4 different condos because that's all we could really afford what we had. And everyone fell through at like the last minute, something or other, as you know, as it goes. And then this house came up like right after we had declined on an offer. And so it was like fresh out the gate, got this offer, got this house, slipped in at the last minute last October. Since then, like, it's gone crazy here. Like,
it's nuts.
It was already starting to go crazy, and that's why we had a family member that was like, hey, if you're making moves, you gotta make them.
So, I had a buddy who was in real estate, and it was the end of 2018, and I was like, I have a weird feeling that this is just gonna, like, go off, and we need to start looking at houses. So my wife and I found a house in Chesterfield, like West Valley neighborhood, and moved in November of 2018. So we had all of 2019, and that was starting to get crazy. And then COVID happened, and that only made things crazier. And now it's we got in at the perfect time. I don't know how we did, but we're very fortunate.
Like right before stuff started to actually go. Like we got in like midway through the starting of going crazy. Like, but like it's wild out there. We're in West Valley as well. We're like over by the Maverick Center.
Dude, we are too. So I'm right off Redwood and like right by the train station. It's like 29th or 29th South.
Yeah. I'm off of Rosa Parks, so it's like 31st.
Fuck yeah, dude, we're so close.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But yeah, it's oh my God, it's crazy. I know of people looking for houses, and any new construction is booked out like a year, if not more. I was talking to one guy. He had a deposit, and it went to building a house, and they like sold the house out from underneath him because he wasn't. The clause in his contract was if somebody like outbid him by like $50,000 or some shit, that he could have the house instead, and that's exactly what happened.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's insane.
People are coming in with money. Like, from what I've heard, nobody's getting a house if they're not waiving their inspections and paying $50,000 over list. Like, wild shit. And that's just like the buying market. The rental market's even worse.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even find an apartment. Like, and this is like stretching all the way. Like, I have a friend in Cedar City who can't find an apartment to rent in Cedar City.
Jesus Christ.
He grew up there. He's lived there his whole life. He's in his 30s, but like he can't find a place without getting like 2-3 roommates, and like he doesn't know that many people that stayed in Cedar City.
Yeah, it's nuts. So Ryan just moved out. Ryan's my drummer, if you didn't know. So he moved out here in April from Maryland, and we were like, yeah, dude, we'll find you an apartment. It'll probably be like $1,000-$1,200, because when we lived in our apartment, when we moved here in 2017, 2018, we lived downtown, and it was like $1,000. So we were like, well, fuck yeah, dude, we'll find you a place, not even thinking that the rental market had appreciated the same as the housing market. So he's down by the Valley Fair Mall right by you, and on 35th in one of those apartments, and he's paying more than that, and I was just like, sorry, dude, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
So yes, the housing market fucking sucks. This fucking sucks is flat tires. Flat tires fucking suck. I went down to Joann Fabrics last weekend to do, I don't know if you can see it, this little cabinet over here, this green and gray washed cabinet over there.
Oh,
I got that.
That's the one that I saw on Twitter, right?
Yeah.
That thing's so fucking sick.
Thank you. It turned out really well. But yeah, I went to get that fabric, and I pulled into the parking lot, and some big old fucking shard of metal was just in my tire, and
oh my God.
Luckily it was in the parking lot and not on the highway, but I had to have Ryan go back to my house and get a spare tire and bring it down to me. So, yes, spare tires, or flat tires fucking suck.
Yeah.
I hope nobody has to deal with that shit. A buddy of mine, too, her tire just exploded on the freaking highway the other day.
Oh,
and
Jesus.
luckily
that
she's
happened
okay.
to me when I was 17. God damn, that's the scariest
It's
driving
terrifying.
moment pretty much ever.
Yeah. Okay, next. Recent jams. What have you been listening to last couple of days?
Last couple of days, I've been doing a retrospective on Chiodos.
Okay.
I jumped back into Bone Palace Ballet, which is like their second album, I want to say.
Yeah.
It's like 2007. And I don't know, I'm just like, I got a hair up my ass about I don't want to listen to what I listened to as a 17-year-old. It's time. And so, I've been blasting Chiodos, driving around town like it's 2008. And then my emo jams this week, the album or the EP Unmake Me by the band Parting.
Okay.
Which is kind of like a newer super group from the Count Your Lucky Stars records.
Okay.
Groups. It's got the vocalist from Empire, I Was the Loneliest State, and then members from other emo revival bands came together, and that is just the twinkle that I need to there's oh my God, the song Stapler's Monster is just hits to the core. It's seemingly about the daily grind of get up, go to work, come home, repeat, no time to think, and it's a lot of it's in 3/4, and it's a twinkly waltzy sort of thing.
Okay.
And it's just oh man, it hits me in the heartstrings every fucking time.
And what are they called? Parting?
Parting, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look them up too. That sounds awesome.
Oh yeah, Parting is they're my number one twinkle jam for the last month.
Hell yeah. I know what you're talking about, going back to listening to stuff at 17, 18, because I think you mentioned earlier you're 31, right?
Yeah.
I'm 32, so I graduated in 07, and I'm thinking about, I went back and listened to, Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza the other day, and I was just I don't know why I don't listen to more of this, and who else did I have on? Friggin' Winds of Plague, but I listen to them all the time because I'm an idiot, and I'm early and mid 2000s music is it's those formative years, so obviously you're gonna go back to it, but it definitely fills my heart up a bit going back. But I do have to check out that new band because that sounds sick. I know what you mean, getting that little twinkle in your heart. It just makes it it makes it beat a little bit.
Yeah.
My recent jams, I've been listening to a lot of Pacific these last 2 or 3 days. Do you know them?
I have, and I don't.
They're they're more punky, pop punk. They're a Canadian band. They're kind of in your face pop punk, really. They have 2 albums out. Distant Like You Asked, and then In Spite of Me, and both of them are fucking bangers, and if you're into pop punk, jam them.
Oh, you said Pacific?
Yeah, Pacific.
Sweet. I'll definitely check that out. I mean, I am so here for this pop punk revival that's been happening.
It's fucking nuts, and I have always edged more towards the punky pop punk as opposed to the poppy pop punk, but It's still all incredible, and the best thing about it is the ability to play will never set any pop punk band apart from the others. It's always what's driving it, right?
Yeah.
It's the emotion behind it and the I guess the dedication that these guys have, guys and girls, and that are just playing, and yeah, like you could have the most talented guitarist in the world in a pop punk band, but it's not gonna fucking matter unless something's behind that pop punk message, you know?
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I am all about this revival. It's so sick. There's a band called House Parties. They're a Texas band, and they're growing a little bit. They're more on that punky side. They're sick. Yeah, it's great. I love it.
Right on.
Yeah, and then Derek too. Derek is more on that punky pop punk side. I feel like I'm in 7th and 8th grade again, listening to like Sum 41 and like jumping around playing that music. Vibe. It makes me so happy.
Because he's so young that I'm like, man, you're like playing classics.
It's so funny because I love him to death. He's a shy guy, and he came over the first time and like he didn't say much, and we're like, yeah, so we learn these songs, and like he's just warming up on guitar and he's playing like In Too Deep and he's playing Blink-182 shit, and I'm just like, dude, you weren't even like like running full speed when this shit came out. Like, it's so funny. But yeah. He's so talented. I love him, and yeah, he's a smart fucking kid. But yeah, that's recent jams. So next one, I gotta sing it. I woke up with this. I woke up with this. What have you woken up with in your head that you cannot really explain?
Well, if you like I wake up with songs in my head like all the time. Mm-hmm. This morning I woke up with the song Hops by the band Riley.
Okay.
Stuck in my head. I can explain that because I listen to that record all the fucking time. But recently, one that I can't explain is, you know, the Whitney Houston Brandy Cinderella? Have you ever seen that from the 90s?
Yeah, I know I've seen it. I just can't. If I saw it right in front of me now, I would remember. Yeah.
So there's this song that is like the main theme. It's like, impossible things are happening every day, and it's been going on in my head for like months now, and I can't explain it.
You gotta watch it and get it out.
See, no, watching it, put it in there. My girlfriend put it on, and I was like, oh, this is fun. I haven't seen this since I was a kid. And then for the last 3 months, I'll be cooking it. I'm just like, impossible. And to the point where she's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, this is still happening?
That's so funny. Yeah, same. I wake up with songs in my head all the time, but one that I cannot explain recently is, I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. Bam, 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 bam. The freaking Pokemon theme song, and
oh man, I watch it every Saturday morning.
I went recently, maybe not recently, but months ago, probably the end of last year. I went through every Indigo League episode that they had on, and even the new stuff that's on Netflix, which is weird to watch as an adult when there's like a million Pokemon now, because I only really know the 150 original ones. So
I was like that until I got back into Pokemon Go, because you know Pokemon Go came out in like 2016. I got it just like everybody else. I was like, all right, this is fucking crazy. Everybody's so like wholesome and out catching Pokemon, and then I stopped playing for years. And a couple years ago, I got like maybe 2019, I got back into it.
Okay.
And I was like, oh man, now there's like, it's not just the original Pokemon like when I started, which was like the appeal, because when I started, I only knew the old ones as well, like a little bit of the second generation. But, and then it was like, oh man, now I am learning every Pokemon, like up through, I think they're at like number 900 in Pokemon Go at this point. they're like well over 1,000 in the games, and like I definitely haven't kept up as much as I really want to. I love Pokemon with all my heart.
I do
but
too.
Like it's just there's so much. It's really like a kid's game. Like you gotta have the time for it.
So yeah, the end of last year, I went on this kick, and I was watching them, and then I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna jump back into Pokemon, and I bought, I don't remember if it's Diamond or Emerald or it's some rare gem, the latest one for Switch, and I played that, and I think that one goes up to like $850 or something, and it has. I don't know, it has a plethora of all these new guys that I don't know who the hell they are, and I'm like, this is so sick, but also, like, what am I doing? Like, it's just, I love Pokemon so much, but, yeah.
Oh, man, they just released a new, like, free Pokemon game called Pokemon Unite that I started playing today.
Okay.
It's like, it's one of those MOBA type, like multiplayer online battle arena. It's like League of Legends. It's like There's like lanes. You play as a single Pokemon. And you start out as like a level 1 basic evolution Pokemon. You like defeat wild Pokemon to like level up. As you level up, you can start going after the other. It's like 5v5 or 5-on-5 PvP, and you like get points for killing. I guess you're capturing. You're basically killing Pokemon. There's a little ball.
There's no killing in Pokemon. They all live forever.
There's a little ball animation when they hit 0 HP, which is why they are not dead. Definitely not dead. And then you collect points and you dunk them into the score zone. Like
okay.
But yeah, it's all like abilities and powers and like.
Is that on your phone?
Pokemon have different stats. I don't know if it's on the phone. It's definitely on Switch, which is where I've been playing.
Okay, I gotta get it then.
Yeah, and it's free, so like jump on it. It's like one of those you could definitely, if you like had a kid, they could probably accidentally spend a whole bunch of money on it. But like,
oh god, it's one of those. Okay.
But like it's fun. Like man, I played like 6 battles today, and I was just like, oh man, I haven't had this much fun playing Pokemon in a while.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to get it then, because that just sounds too much fun.
Oh, yeah, we got to make a team.
Let's freaking do it. Salt Lake Music, freaking Pokemon Elite Squad.
We're looking for 3 more players.
I'm sure I can get Ryan on board. He loves Pokemon, too. Hell yeah, let's do that. Okay, so that's how I woke up with this. Shinfo. So if you don't know what Shinfo is just kind of shitty info that isn't really pertinent to anything. It's just kind of info. What do you have?
This is fun. The Great Salt Lake in danger of becoming a toxic dust bowl.
Is it really?
Yeah, so there's like a bunch of arsenic in Utah soil. And it all washes into the Great Salt Lake, where there's these like microbiotic growths on the lake floor, and like we're 3 inches away from the lowest point it's been since 1958, and I
saw that
the low point is usually in October. You know, it's the end of July, so we're gonna get a lot lower. So it's gonna like smash the record. The more that evaporates, the more of this microbiotic, like algal, like kind of formation breaks down and turns into dust. So like 20 years ago, West Valley and Magna used to like almost never get dust storms because there wasn't enough of the Salt Lake exposed on this side of the mountain. All the dust storms were over on the other side, like where Tooele is. Now there's enough exposed that there's like pretty regular, when it kicks up wind out there, you know, we get it in town. Well, I mean, like they're saying if we get a couple more years of drought like this, we might lose the Great Salt Lake.
That's fucking crazy.
Entirely, which they say would become the #1 dust producer in North America.
Really?
Yeah, so like we'll pretty much like be in a dust cloud.
Jesus Christ. Sick. I wouldn't really say that's shinfo for us, but that's probably shinfo to everyone else that's listening.
Right, yeah, like it was featured on the Guardian, and it's like, yeah, on the Guardian, that's just like some random shitty article. Sucks for Utah people, I guess, but who lives in Utah?
Mormons and you and I.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, that's crazy. Shit. My shinfo is not knowledgeable at all. I'm building a custom little road case for my orange dual terror. So
I really focused on the shitty end of that.
Yep, just good old shinfo. On to the next one. Give someone credit who's been killing it for you lately.
Cliff Diver. They're out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Fucking killer. They just finished up recording their first full length last month or something, as I've been following them on Twitter, as you do. They're just they've got a wholesome message. They hit the sad notes, they hit the emo, they hit the alt rock vibes. There's a saxophone, there's an unnecessary saxophone solo in every fucking song. Love it.
There is no such thing as an unnecessary saxophone solo.
That's fair.
Saxophone is the most beautiful instrument ever. And yes, I'm talking to you too, harp players. Yeah, saxophone just freaking, it just hits me. There's something about it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so
everything I see from Cliff Diver is just, every time I see them come out with something, it's just and they've outdone themselves again.
I don't remember what song it was, but we met Cliff Diver on the No Sleep Records the Christmas compilation they did this past year, and Cliff Diver was on it, and they did a song, and then we did. Shit, I don't even remember what song we did. We did Christmas, the snow's coming down. Christmas, I'm watching it fall.
Oh yeah.
That song. And
then Gremlins.
Yeah. We met a whole bunch of incredible people through doing that compilation, and Cliff Diver is included in that category. So yes, love those guys. I've talked to them a bit. Very excited for the new album, and they fucking kill it.
Yeah.
My give someone credit is I'm gonna give both Derek and Ryan. Derek Christensen and Ryan Shreve, who Ryan is my drummer, and he's also the bassist in Derek Christensen, and then Derek is Derek Christensen. But Ryan, he's played, we counted, over 100 shows in his life, and none of them have been on bass until 2 weekends ago when he played for Derek. So I'm giving him awesome credit for doing that, because he killed it, and then I'm giving Derek credit because that's his first show as Derek Christensen, and it was fucking sick. So there are videos of it on Twitter. I don't know if anybody cares to watch that, but if you do, there's me jumping around like a dummy, and those guys being just awesome and doing their shit. So giving
Derek's
those guys
rad. I met Derek. What was it? It would have been January 2020 with his last band.
Baker's Pool, right?
Yeah, that's it. And we, Origami Angel and Short Fictions came through town.
Yep.
And we played with them, and just killer fucking show all around. Derek played this ridiculous cover of the what is the Scooby-Doo sound theme song, but not the one that everybody remembers, but the one from the 90s.
He told me about it.
Scooby-Doo, or
yeah, it's what's new Scooby-Doo, not the original one. Yeah.
What's new Scooby-Doo? Yeah.
Yeah, he's a goof.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I saw that and I was just like, oh man, I like this kid. This kid is not afraid to like have some fucking fun.
He is not afraid, and that's why I love him so much. So my big thing is genres. I hate genres. Obviously, you want to steer people towards what it may sound like because everybody's not like me, but the more you can incorporate from outside worlds or outside genres and put into your music, I think that makes it that much better, and Derek is so fucking good at doing that, and it's like effortless for him.
Totally.
Yeah, I pride myself on doing that, and he blows me away at it, so I think that's why a lot of this pop punk stuff is coming back the way it is, because it's not just pop punk, it's a lot of extra cool, extracurricular, or extra, I don't even know what the word would be, outside of that typical genre, sounds and noises, and I don't know, I just am loving it. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's listen, party. I have up what I think you wanted me to play. It's just a Cliff Diver song. And let me find it. Cool, so assuming you guys can see this, or you can see this, we're just going to play Gas City by Cliff Diver, and maybe it won't be so fucking loud. Does Bandcamp have a thing where you can lower their
fuck, I
volume?
don't think so.
Let me do this quick. Or maybe I can't do that either. Here, we're just gonna fucking scream over top of it. I don't care.
You need to gas up all of your homies so they won't give up. They will keep going.
Or I'll pause it in between and talk, because
Oh yeah.
The first time I heard this, I was like, this is very cheesy. What am I listening to? And I had to listen to the whole song to get the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like, you gotta gas up your homies. And I was like, okay, like, all right, let's listen.
Then they can gas up all of their homies. No, we won't give up. We will keep.
Unmatched energy these guys have. I want to see them live and have fun with these guys so much, because it's just, it's so fucking good. And ultimately this song, it's just friends being supportive for friends, and just...
That's like my whole vibe. You gotta pump up you gotta gas up your homies. Like,
you gotta gas up the homies. I love it.
If I didn't have my homies gassing me up, I would have gave up, like, at the start of 2020, like, when shows ended, I was real close to just being like, I'm fucking done, like, I'm 30, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And it was my homies that kept me going, and then, like, you know, at the end of 2020-ish, I heard this, and it was just like, that is my fucking vibe this year.
Yeah, it's a very necessary song for this time in people's lives too, so they're hitting a couple of things here, but we're going to go at least through the saxophone solo as we go through this.
And frankly, I'm impressed. If only you knew just how I view you.
Pop punk two steps.
Yup.
Pop punk two steps.
I'm so proud of your progress. You need to gas up all of your homies so they won't give up. They will keep going. Then they can gas up all of their homies. No, we won't give up. We will keep going.
I love that little T-Pain effect in there too. It's just, I don't know, little minuscule things like that make song's so fucking cool to me. I don't know. I love it.
This part's not easy, but say it with me. I'm going to be okay. Say it with me. I'm going to be okay. Say it with me. I'm going to be. You need to gas up all of your.
Yeah, so fucking good. I love them so much. If you don't know Cliff Tyver, go find them and go listen to them. Go support them. I don't know if this beanie that you can see on the screen is still around, but I know that they have that little logo thing, and if you can, buy one, because they freaking deserve it. So.
Hell yeah.
God, yeah, that just makes me... God. I just want to play and watch live music. Fuck yeah. So that's Let's Listen Party, and we'll go to last but not least plugs. Shoot from the hip.
Okay, plugs. We got last solo show for the foreseeable future for Choice Coin. It might be acoustic, it might be solo electric guitar. We'll see what happens. And then August 27th, we got the new single, This Bedroom Ain't Big Enough for the Both of Us. And then September 2nd, we got new full band Choice Coin coming to Kilby Court, $8.
That's gonna be
it's gonna be
sick.
A hell of a time.
I'm so excited for that. I can't even tell you.
Like we've been busting these songs. I've been practicing with Cole for I think 3 months at this point, 3 or 4 months. Pretty much as soon as we were like vaccinated, it was like, all right, let's do this, let's get it. And then I've played with Faye. She was in the last band I was in doing lead guitar. That's how I met her. And so like we vibed really well in that last band where I was bass and she was lead guitar. When it was like, okay, I'm writing the guitar parts, I need her guitar parts. So got there, Tut fell in just perfectly about a month ago, and like, man, energy's gonna be through the fucking roof.
I love it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to meet you, especially after talking with you, and I'm so excited to meet the rest of the gang too, and just immerse myself in this Salt Lake City music scene that I've heard so much about. So yeah, I'm pumped. Anything else off the top of your head?
I don't think so. I mean, like, watch that DLC venue. Like, they've got an Instagram that they do everything. They've got killer shows lined up. Support your local venues. Go to, like, check out the Beehive. They're behind, like, in the back of Mark of the Bistro, which is a killer vegan restaurant.
It
like,
really
like, fucking check those two. If I could, like, plug any two venues to go check out in Salt Lake City, DLC and Beehive.
Cool. I definitely got to check out DLC. Beehive was incredible. I'm sure it still is.
They actually just what is it? Tonight, night of record, like, is the Rebel 5th anniversary Beehive comeback show. They just got a new PA all tuned in, like fully new PA,
hell yeah,
new electronics, everything. Like, they're ready to take over town.
Fuck yeah, I love it. Cool. Well, if that's everything you'd like to spit into the universe, we can wrap that up.
For me.
Okay. Well, cool. Thank you again, Jared. Obviously, go listen to Choice Coin. Go follow them on Twitter, Instagram, and keep up with what they have going on. Again, new single coming out August 27th, yeah?
Yeah.
Perfect. And then a solo show August 13th. I can't remember what month 8 is because I'm an idiot. And then a full new lineup show September 2nd. I will be there too because that's just fucking exciting. But yeah, thanks, Jerry. I appreciate you. And
awesome. Thanks so much.
We will catch you on the next episode of the Hornbill Podcast. Bye-bye.
Thanks for nothing, bitch!